Joining us now from Columbus is Republican presidential candidate and Ohio Governor John Kasich. Governor Kasich, I wanted to ask you, you've said that you would be doing as well as Donald Trump if you were getting the kind of gargantuan free media that he's getting. Do you think, having listened to that focus group, you'd be doing as well with that group of voters?
Well, John, look, I mean, you know, the people are very frustrated. But as you know, as you've covered politics for a long time, we need to fix problems. We're not going to fix them by yelling and screaming. Look, you know, let's just get, I don't want to be promoting myself here, to tell you the truth, but in balancing the federal budget, does anybody, you know how hard it was. You got to pull people together in both parties to get it done. You want to fix Social Security? You can't bludgeon people into going along with it in the Congress. You want to provide for the national security, and you need to rebuild the military, and you want to have a program that resolves the problem of encryption. You just can't do it by, just by kind of yelling at people, or you have to work together. Look, I'm in this race for one basic reason. I know how to get the economy moving again, and I know what we need to do at national security. I just spoke at the Council of Foreign Relations, and I'd encourage people to go on their website and look at the speech. We're not going to get anywhere until we're able to get Republicans and Democrats to work together, and polarization and divisions is going to lead us down the wrong path. I get these people who are upset. I understand why they're upset. I mean, I grew up in a community where people were always suspicious of the government or things that they didn't deliver things. But we got to stay calm, and we have to unite ourselves. And you know what? We will. You mark my words. We will. Trump is not going to be president, and he's not going to be our nominee. It's not going to happen.
But did the people in the Republican primary process misunderstand what the country needs?
That's a focus group, John. Come on, let's not get carried away with putting a handful of people in a room.
So you think they're an aberration from the general electorate?
I think at the end, they get overwhelmed by people who say, we got to get things fixed. Now, I mean, if they carry the day, we're not going to get things fixed. I mean, people are worried about what we're going to do with Medicare and Social Security. If you don't get both political parties to recognize that, or at least, lower the warfare efforts by both parties, you don't get it done. I mean, I've witnessed this throughout my lifetime, whether it was Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan working on Social Security, or whether it was me and my friends working on the balancing the federal budget with Bill Clinton. I mean, people now want to know, okay, how are we going to save Social Security? Well, one party just can't do it. And you can't yell at legislators. I used to be a legislator. Now I'm an executive. I've had the perspective from both sides. So, John, I really do believe at the end, people are going to say who can land the plane and who's got the experience. They're frustrated. They're upset. But you know what? Over time, people tend to settle down when they actually go into the voting booth and cast a vote for a candidate to be President of the United States.
Let me ask you a question about those Republican voters and a policy issue. 54% of Republican voters in our latest CBS poll supported a ban on Muslims entering the United States. Why is that a bad idea?
Well, John, first of all, we don't need more division. And everybody who's a Muslim isn't some terrorist, obviously. The vast majority, I mean, you got an infinitesimal number who have distorted the religion and have entered the culture of death. Now, let me also say about your polls. You're polling like 400 people out of 325 million. So I see polls all the time. I've become more convinced now that the reason that God invented pollsters was to make astrologers look accurate. I don't believe that that's where the Republican Party is. I mean, I'm on the ground. I just did my 42nd town hall meeting in New Hampshire. That's where you go into a room and you sit there or you stand there and they come at you with questions and they try to size you up. This is not what I get when I'm there. It's not what I get when I go to South Carolina or out to Iowa. This is not what I hear. I hear people saying, I'm worried about my job. I'm worried about our security. I'm worried about my kids' future. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about Social Security? What are you going to do about college debt? That's what I hear. I don't have people, coming up and yelling about this other stuff. And I'm right there. We don't screen our meetings. Anybody can come. And by the way, I'd invite everybody to come to my meetings and let's talk through all these issues, you know?
All right, Senator, excuse me, Governor Kasich inviting everyone, even astrologers and pollsters. We'll be right back
See you,
with
John.
our political panel.
Happy holiday.
Thanks, you too, Governor.